Hello, everyone. My name is Krish Banerjee. I'm a managing director at Accenture, and I'm the country lead for our analytics and data business in Accenture Canada. Very pleased to be part of this discussion and happy to share with you my experience and discussions that I have been having with a number of organizations and number of my friends and colleagues on the topic of AI maturity. This is not a new topic that we have been all dealing with and all have been working with. And if you think about the topic of AI, it has been there for years. It has been there since the kind of the half of our previous century, like 1950s, when John McCarthy first coined this term, artificial intelligence, and we did the Turing test. And then from there onwards, there has been some early research in the field of AI. There has been applications that we have built. There has been chatbots that we have introduced, all the way to in the 90s when we have started using some limited use cases of AI. To the world where we live in, where AI has become commonplace in our day-to-day lives. Whether we are using an Siri, which is helping us find the next best restaurant where we are driving to, or we are using a Face ID to open our computers or our mobile phones, we don't always realize that there is AI built into all of these applications. And then the question is, what's next? What happens from where we are right now, where AI has kind of intermingled into everything that do in our day-to-day lives? And that's where the question of scaling AI comes in. And how do we use AI that actually has an impact in our human lives, in sustainability, in all the problems we are dealing with from a geopolitical perspective, and also to really make business impact. How do we make innovation in new products? How do we use automation? And how do we really involve AI in better business decisions? And that's what I mean by scaling AI and the adoption of AI, which we believe is going to be the next phase of evolution of AI. And then we started looking at what does it mean? Like AI, as we all understand, is a topic that we are all kind of in the middle of. Like there's probably hardly anyone that hasn't heard of it, and hardly any organization who has been dealing with it or doing something about it. But then everyone is at a different stage of how they are playing with AI. And we thought about how do we look at that in terms of where you are in the AI journey and what do you need to do to learn from those who are doing it in a different way, who are really using AI to differentiate, who are making impact either in the community, in the business, and for their people and employees. And we came up with this AI maturity. And the AI maturity is a way to find that degree to which the organizations are mastering the craft of AI. And it's interesting that we actually used AI and machine learning to come up with that maturity model. We surveyed about 1,200 organizations across the globe, across the spectrum of all different industries, and we collected a bunch of signals. And from that signal, we used machine learning, we used AI to come up with the traits that differentiates organizations from one to the other. And then if you think about where AI is now, there's some evidences that we all can find in terms of how AI is being used in the business community, in the society, and in general in kind of our day-to-day lives. If you think that almost half of all the organizations that has gone to the market with their quarterly earnings have used AI in their communication, that has actually led to growing the confidence. They have actually saw like financial benefits going forward. 40% of leaders mentioned AI in their earnings calls, and that has led to share price increases, and there's evidences for that. 42% of companies actually saw return on their AI initiatives have exceeded their expectations. And more than three quarters of organizations who have actually kind of engaged in AI in the last couple of years have reworked their strategy, they've reworked their plans to accelerate AI. So there is enough evidence that there is an importance of AI that is showing the benefit. Yet, if you think about how we are leveraging AI, there's work to be done. And that's where the AI maturity comes in. To really understand, where am I in the journey of AI? Am I leveraging it? Am I leveraging it enough to make a business impact? Am I leveraging enough to make an impact for my stakeholders, for my people, for my employees, giving back to the community? That's where the AI maturity is important. And when we started looking at all the 1,200 organizations and all the data we collected, we found that there are four categories of organizations by the different levels of what they're using AI for and how they're using AI for and what benefits they're getting out of AI. The achievers are clearly the ones that are setting themselves apart by using AI as a differentiating capability. They're using it to make faster decisions, they're using it to differentiate in the marketplace among their peers, among the community, and giving their customers, giving their employees, giving their stakeholders superior performance and outcomes. There's a group of companies and organizations who are AI builders, and they are investing in AI. They have built the core, they have built the platform and the capabilities that is required to take the next step in terms of maturity of AI. And we're calling them AI builders. And that's about 12% of the total population that we surveyed. And the other definition is around AI innovators, where the organizations who are actually looking at really interesting use cases. They really know how to use those use cases for the benefits that their organizations and their stakeholders need. However, they're yet to scale, they're yet to build the capability, they're yet to kind of take that next step. And that's about 13% of it. And the majority of it, about 63%, are experimenters. People who have started playing with AI, who have started doing some proof of concepts. They understand the value of AI, but they haven't been able to actually kind of move the needle in terms of scaling it, building the capability, finding the real innovation around use cases, around the next options that we have in AI, and then move towards the achievers. So, just to recap, four types of organizations by maturity. The achievers are really ahead, that's about 12%, who are really differentiating. The builders have built the capability, they have the foundation, they have the stage ready, and they now need to kind of take the leap of faith in terms of getting to the next phase of AI. The innovators have really great ideas, they have the use cases, they know how to differentiate, they really build the muscles of capability and the foundation to now kind of move from innovation to builders and to achievers. And experimenters, where most of our friends' lies are in the space of starting to play with it, starting to do some proof of concepts and pilots, and then how do we move them across the spectrum is where the next kind of evolution of AI comes in. So what really sets the AI achievers apart? Because there are some clear threats. We talked to the 200 organizations, we heard from them what they're doing, what capabilities they're building, and we really kind of distilled all that information into things that sets the achievers apart. And we know that there are a few things that they're doing very, very clearly. There is an proven differentiation in financial performance. The ones who have actually been achieving that AI kind of leadership, they really get the benefit of financial performance. Their stakeholders' performance, the value that their customers get, the value that their employees get, how they're contributing to community from a sustainability perspective, able to differentiated customer experience, all of that comes in through being an AI achiever. They really do a great job of prioritization. They know which part of their organization and which organizational capabilities they would like to move forward. And that's one of the greatest skills of how do you prioritize the capabilities? How do you make sure that you are able to combine the strengths that you have, apply to the right part of your business, right part of your priorities, and then that kind of magnifies the impact. And then To my earlier point around being an experimenter and then moving from that point to being a builder and an achiever, they're really turning the pilots into production. And they're able to achieve 25% more to scale the AI pilots across their enterprises. And then if you look at how can I be an AI achiever, because that's the question that I often get from leaders that I talk to at a number of our Canadian organizations. The question is, I'm playing with this, I'm doing this, I'm kind of in this part of the zone from an AI maturity perspective. What do I really need to do? What can I do in order to kind of move up that ladder of AI maturity? And there's clearly five things. And we have seen, and this is tested across those organizations we have surveyed, we have seen, like, how these specific factors contribute in order to move the organizations from one scale of maturity to the other. You need to have a very clear champion of AI within the organization, and that has to be very much at the top, like at C level, CEO level, championship of AI, and that has to come down across the organization. So the sponsorship at the top has to be very clearly defined, has to be very clearly pronounced, and those who have done that are the ones who are clearly setting the agenda at the kind of the board level, at the CEO level, and that is percolating to the next level of the organizations. With that, you need to invest heavily in talent. You need to have a culture of using AI data and insights that comes with it, and invest in training your people, investing a culture of using data to find insights, and reward those learnings, rewards those who are investing in themselves. So that is an extremely important topic. We have seen organizations who have built the muscles, who have great ideas, but haven't moved the needle because they haven't moved the needle in culture, in talent, in how organizations are able to move their people from learnings and skills they had in the past to learnings and skills they need going forward. And then you need to build the AI core, which is extremely important. All the technologies around cloud, data, architecture, engineering, modernization, machine learning, you need to build those muscles. You need to build the core foundation on which your AI capabilities will sit. So having the technology and having the capabilities clearly defined and matured and modernized, as the case may be, over a period of time is going to help you build your AI capabilities on a sustainable platform. And extremely important that we do this in a responsible way. And we do this with the mindset of designing AI responsibly. We all know that from a number of jurisdiction perspective, there are regulations that either has already come in or are in the final stages of being rolled out. So having that in mind in terms of what do we need to build AI as an organization, what ethical responsibilities do we have, is going to help you differentiate as you go to the market and explain the outcomes of what your AI capabilities are. And then finally, it's important to prioritize. It's extremely important, which we saw earlier around what AI achievers are doing differently and what sets this apart. It's important to have a clear AI strategy, which is supported by the senior leadership, and you are able to identify long and short term AI investments, which is tied to your overall enterprise objective, which is tied to your overall enterprise priorities and outcomes that you are trying to achieve. So, five clear things. You need to have the top line, top leadership, support, championship, investing in culture, people, talent, helping your organization, your people to move up the value chain of learning skills, industrializing the capabilities, the foundational capabilities that you need to build the AI foundation on top of it, designing with responsibility and ethical practices in mind from the start, and then able to have a clear AI strategy which prioritizes long-term investment, short-term investments that will be secured, is a recipe that moves you from one step in the maturity to the next, and then finally to achieve kind of that criteria of success that we are all looking for. So, with that, I will think about what do we need to do and how AI will help you differentiate. And hopefully, this maturity scale and maturity kind of framework helps you think where you are and what do you need to do. We all understand it's a journey. It is not something that will happen in a day or even a few months or a quarter or a year. It's a journey, but it's important to have the vision. It's important to know where I belong, where am I, and what do I need to do. Look at those five things. You might look at them and say, I have two of them checked, and then I need to have the other three kind of addressed. So hopefully this gives you a quick kind of a view of how do I understand where do I fit into kind of the broad scale of AI work globally happening, and then what do I need to do, and then I'm happy to have the conversations if you'd like to discuss more. As I wrap up on this topic, thank you and thanks Rotman for this opportunity. Really enjoyed and hope to hear back on any feedback, and I will now pass it on to Anita for the next conversation. Thank you.